we can start with questions.
Recording in progress.
Hey, Robert. Good morning. Thanks for doing this. We appreciate it.
No, morning. Appreciate you guys.
Could you, we haven't talked to you in a while. Could you just take care of some housekeeping and update your staff changes, the new guys on the staff?
For sure. Obviously, Nathaniel Hackett coming in as a new offensive coordinator. Excited to have him. Keith Carter coming from Tennessee. I've always had so much respect for their run game and what they've done and how it meshes with what we try to do philosophically I believe in. That gives defenses problems. So he's a really, really good addition. And then Todd Downing, bringing him also from Tennessee. His experience with quarterbacks, he was with Stafford at the beginning, the early years of his career. He was with Derek Carr at the early years of his career, and obviously with Tannehill during Tannehill's resurrection, if you will. But comes with a wealth of knowledge of quarterback play, so he'll be kind of God rest his soul, that Napper role in terms of running the quarterback room and being the main voice in that regard.
So what's this time like for you? You know, we're all waiting to find out who your quarterback is. What's it like for you just trying to be patient and kind of to waiting for this process to play out here?
It's like everything else. You know, right now we're studying our guys. We're going through free agency. We're looking at the draft. So there's a lot of overlap with regards to what we're doing in our day-to-day process. So this morning we're going over some offensive scheme. In the afternoon it'll be defensive scheme, and while we're doing offense, defense is working on free agency in the draft and vice versa. So it's just trying to divvy up the time and make sure that we're going through our normal process day in and day out. And so it's really, I guess you get used to it after all this time.
Robert, can you speak to how the meeting went with Derek? I know Joe spoke to us a little bit about it, but when you met with Derek back in New Jersey, how you felt like that went?
I thought it was great. You know, he's a tremendous young man. He's a father of four. Obviously, he's his mind's in the right spot. He understands. He keeps the main thing. But a really impressive young man for sure.
Robert, were you involved yesterday at all, whether it be virtual or not, when they met with Derek?
No, I'll be honest. I woke up. I went to bed 2 nights ago, and it was my turn with the stomach bug. So I'm just pulling myself up off the mat. So I was supposed to fly out there. Obviously, I didn't make it. So,
what stands out about Derek on and off the field for you?
Say it one more time.
What stands out about Derek on and off the field?
Derek, he's got an elite mental makeup with regards to football IQ. He's got tremendous accuracy and arm strength. He can put the ball anywhere you want, and you know, he has a talent. He's underrated in terms of a scrambler and being able to move off pocket and all that, out of the pocket and all that stuff. But you know, he's been asked to do a lot in his career, and you just look at him, like I've said it before. I think he's more in line with what Stafford's career has been in terms of you know, if you could just get him into a place that can surround him with all the pieces to allow him to just play quarterback 10 to 15 times a game, it'd be pretty cool. But he's a solid young man.
Robert, is it important for you to have this done before free agency, or does that not matter at this point?
You know, it's as a coach, you always want it done yesterday, right? But we appreciate everyone's process. We appreciate how everyone's going about it. We appreciate the way. We appreciate the time everyone needs. So it's just being deliberate in our process and making sure that we're taking care of our stuff, but also being mindful and respectful for other people too. So,
what stands out about this draft class to you?
You know what? I don't even know if I can give you a fair evaluation yet, because like I said, we've been doing self-scout free agency. We're just starting to scratch the surface with regards to the draft, and you could ask me that in a couple of weeks. I know it's probably my last media session for a little bit, but OTAs, I'll have a way better answer for you back then.
We'll see at the owners meeting. So you got us there.
That's right. I do got the order.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. You actually have to go. I think you actually have to go to those, but I'm not sure.
I have a much better answer in a couple of weeks.
Robert, you've had Nathaniel now. Nathaniel's been in the building for over a month, however many weeks. How do you envision this offense? What's kind of going to be the philosophy of this offense?
It's there's a lot of carryover from what Mike had installed over the last couple of years. So there's going to be some carryover philosophically, and how we do things will be a little bit different. I'm not going to get too deep in that right now, but excited about him. He's got like I said, he's everywhere he's been able to build a top five, at least a top five run game. And he's from a play calling standpoint, it might come off different. Not to say that Mike wasn't able to get it done, but his positivity, his aura about him, the way he goes about his business, I just think he's going to be it'll be a change for the guys for sure.
Hey, Robert, a couple of days ago, Joe was saying that he feels confident that Zach Wilson will be able to reach his ceiling. And that's pretty consistent with what you've been saying since the end of the year. So I'm wondering, if you acquire a veteran quarterback who's like in his early 30s, who's going to stick around for a while, you would presume, where does that leave Zach in terms of the Jets, like 2 years down the road? Like, what's his future then?
That's a good question, Rich. It's you can't look at it that way. You guys know me, it's stay in the moment and try to do everything we can to help everyone get better, be the best version of themselves they can be. So whether, we bring in a guy who's in his early 30s and he's going to be here for a while, the focus is to just help him get better as best as he can. And if his best gets to be showcased here as a New York Jet, awesome. If not, it's still awesome, because all we want is what's best for him and his development. No different than any other player on our roster. That's our job to make sure that we're doing everything we can to help them find ways to reach their max potential as coaches. And then Joe and his staff, their job is to continue to push the envelope and finding players who can continue to maintain that standard. So, so to answer your question, I don't have it for 2 years from now. I don't know what that means. I just know our focus is to try to help him get as best as he can.
And just to follow on that, his name hasn't come up much, but where are you guys on Mike White? Would you like to have him back in the quarterback?
Oh yeah,
room?
no, Mike. I know. Feel like I probably should be talking about him more. Mike deserves every bit to be talked about. He should be on this roster also, and he's we carried 3 last year, but again, he's going through his process, and it's just something that obviously we're keeping close tabs on. So,
would you
Robert,
want to carry 3 quarterbacks, Robert? Is that like on the actual 53-man roster? Would you want to do that again next year?
If you can hold it, for sure. Like, quarterbacks are gold. I mean, it's if you have 3 guys that you have full faith in, and yeah, absolutely, you hold them. But you don't want to hold 3 quarterbacks just to hold 3 quarterbacks. But I said it last year, I thought we had 3 really good quarterbacks between Flacco, Zach, and Mike. And if we're presented with that same opportunity again, obviously you'd love to keep it that way.
Robert, what's free agency going to look like for you guys this year? I mean, obviously you improved tight end and secondary last year. You made big moves, and now you seem to be closer to the playoffs. So what's it going to look like?
That's again, you guys probably should ask Joe that question, unless you didn't, if you did, but judicious, I guess. There's certain places where we need to improve on, and but obviously the draft is going to give us some of those opportunities too, the quarterback position, like we talked about. And but as far as defense, is making sure that we can see if we can run it back with the guys we have, and then offensively see if we can be judicious in our approach.
We'll take a couple more for coach.
Robert, have you been able to have any conversation with Dwayne Brown, and do you expect him to be back with you guys this year?
Yeah, I saw Dwayne in the weight room a couple days ago. He's 3 or 4 days ago anyway, but he just finished up his surgery on his left arm or his shoulder. Dwayne is a freaking rock star, man. The way he fought through pain and injury, and he did what I'd say about 90% of players probably wouldn't have done in terms of playing when he didn't have to. All his money was already guaranteed, and the guy still strapped up and played 16 or however many games for us, took it all the way to week 17. But, so he's a lot of respect for him. Love his grind, love his grit, love what he stands for. And if he's here, it'd be awesome.
Robert, is that a
the
situation?
union put out a report card yesterday for all the teams. I'm sure you saw, and people in the building were talking about it. One of the things in there was for your team was that you keep the players too long. I'm just curious what you thought of that criticism in that thing.
I'll always evaluate myself, right? But I'll check around the league, see what's going on in terms of our schedule. Selfishly, I'd say it's in line with about 10 other teams that I communicate with on a daily basis. But again, if it's a challenge from our players, I'll definitely always take a look at myself, and I'll look inward to see if we can make things a little bit better. So,
Robert, with that offensive tackle position, would you feel comfortable and fine with Dwayne as left and Max and Mackay competing at right side, or is that something where you feel like because of whether some of it's the durability concerns or an age concern with Dwayne, where you need to add another legitimate player there to ensure what happens this year doesn't happen again?
No, it's a good question too, Connor. You'd love to add as many players as possible. You don't want to force it. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're always doing what's best for the organization. And if at that time the best thing for the organization is the best player, whatever it is, you'd always love to add more the merrier. You guys know how Joe and I feel with regards to our offensive and defensive lines. I joke about it, but to every joke, there's a little bit of truth. And Joe will have 52 offensive linemen on the roster and one quarterback if he could. So,
Thank you, everyone. That concludes today's availability. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.